You're watching Barnstable this morning. Joining me now is Kathy Aspden. She wrote Baklava, Biscotti, and an Irishman. So excited about this new book. But before we talk about the book, I want to talk about your background a little bit. You've been writing for quite some time.
I have been, Sarah. Thank you for having me today.
When did you start writing?
So like everyone else that's a writer, I want to say I started writing when I was probably 12. A poem to a boy, maybe. And then actually every chance I got, I took a writing course. I took some great courses from Marion Willemure, who was just so instrumental. I took a lot of courses at the writers' conferences and then went back to school actually full-time when I think I was 51, so a few years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and I actually loved my professors at the college who were very supportive. And then I think the key to writing is you just write every day and you're a writer. So
interesting. You know, some people have a really hard time taking that step. I think we can be so critical of ourselves and our work. So do you think that's a hard hurdle to get over?
Definitely. I think the very first thing that actually, weirdly enough, I took an anatomy and physiology course first. And the reason I did is because I was a little weak in sciences. I sort of had a folklore history of different things that I kind of wanted a better grasp on. And also, it was the true thing that jogged my mind. If you can memorize bones and muscles and tissue and all of that, even in your 50s, it sort of puts your brain in a different mindset. So I think that pretty well got me started on.
Interesting. I know you've written a column for the Cape Cod Times. It was, I think, Hair It Is.
No, it's Hair's What I Think. I almost forgot the title.
Hair's What I Think.
Hair's What I Think. And actually that was based on the fact that my salon, which I had for 18 years, is like a think tank. So much information comes and goes, so many opinions, and it was a place where a lot of, it was a networking place. A lot of information was daily available. And,
yeah,
and a lot of it was fun.
Too. You know, a support network too, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
For lots of women.
You find that people all sort of are the same, no matter what their opinion is. They're all going through the same things. They all have the same excitements and doubts and fears. And it was kind of nice to actually, really cathartic to say a lot of things in a column that people found amusing and, you know.
Now, do you think you took a lot of that experience, getting to know people and human nature, working in a salon? Do you think you put a lot of that experience in your book?
Definitely the fact that this is character-driven. Baklava, Biscotti, and an Irishman is 100% a character-driven story. Every word of it is told through a character's eyes. So there isn't a lot of scene setup where I talk about, you know, the background of the history of, you know, some factory. I literally will put every piece of information through the characters. And I think that working with people for so many years definitely helps that aspect of things.
Yeah, so fun. I know you've also written screenplays, which is really fun. How many screenplays have you written?
So I have 3 feature-length screenplays and then a bunch of shorts. One of the shorts actually last year, which is called The Solomon's Dog, it actually ended up getting a little recognition at a film festival in Florida. And so that was fun. I got to actually present my movie, and so that was kind of fun. And the feature lengths, I'm hoping they go someplace. Right now I think they're collecting a little dust on a producer's desk.
Hey, you never know. You never know when something's going to happen. So back to Baklava, Biscotti, and an Irishman. Tell us a little bit about the story without giving away too much.
You know what? It's really difficult not to give away things because the focus of it is really a little bit of it's not really a mystery, it's more like an unwinding of a story. And so it's 3 lives that end up coming from 3 different corners of the world, and they combine for this event that sort of takes place in 1992, although the book spans from post-World War II, well, actually from the Ottoman Empire, Greece, post-World War II, Italy, to Situate, Massachusetts in 2015. So, but it is a book about the fact that nothing is random, that everybody's life ties into somebody else's life in a way they may not understand while it's happening. And that it started with a paragraph, and the paragraph basically was, a little thought process that I was doing about the nature of soul connection. When my soul recognizes yours and realizes how they fit into each other, is it game over? Are you really powerless to make too many changes based on the fact that you want this or don't want this once your soul has met another soul and realizes that they factor in?
Wow.
So, yeah.
Such a cool story. What do you hope readers take away from the book?
Well, so far what readers have taken away from it, I like that people tell me, I cried on this page. I like that. I like that it moves people that way. I also really do want them to realize that the things that they find the most difficult can be the most amazing. And that's kind of where this book
So kind of a little bit of hope and
definitely,
some inspiration for the future.
Yep, definitely.
Very fun. Now let's talk a little bit about how long it took you to write. When did you start writing this book?
Well, the book sort of fell out of me. I had just come back from Florida last winter, and I started on February 5th. And every day I would just get up. It just wrote itself at night. And I'd get up in the morning and write for 4 or 5 hours before I went to work. And I was done by June 5th. So it was like an unleashing. And then, of course, the last few months have been editing and all of that. And I've had a lot of great help. Now, you've been working with the publisher. Was it difficult to get it published or find the right publisher? I was lucky. I actually had, in March, taken a class with this publisher, and she was interested and said, let me know when you're finished. And so I said, yeah, okay, I will. And then when I did, and she said, oh my gosh, send it to me, and I did, and a week later she said, I love it, can I present it to our company? And then it was just crazy. It was a whirlwind of book cover designs and marketing.
The book cover is adorable, and I think it just makes me want to dive in.
And good, yeah. I loved it. I wish I could think of Kobe's last name, who designed the book cover, but she was amazing, and the whole thing has been through Blue Shoe Publishing, and they've been just amazing.
So let's talk about, you're going to be going around, and you're going to do a little bit of a different book tour for this book. You're not going to do the traditional bookstores, libraries.
Well, I'll be there too, but definitely there's a lot of interesting facets in this book that lead me to places like hospitals and package stores and beautiful restaurants that are actually every place that my characters were so real to me that I wanted them to be in real settings, whether it was an actual street that I knew they would have lived in, or a restaurant that I'm guessing they would have liked. If you're a meat eater, you're going to be in this restaurant, and if you love your delicious wine, you might be in another. And so all of the places that are in this book are all places that graciously said to me, yes, go ahead and put us in there as a backdrop. And some of the you might not even notice. You might not notice that that there's a little reference to a little place, on Uppin's Corner in Dorchester, or a coffee shop in Quincy. So it's very, very local, including some of the references to places, the discos in Greece. I mean, so it's very. I think that everyone has a little tiny piece in this novel, some more than others. But nice. So I'll end up in all kinds of places to do my book signings.
Now, so not to rush you, but after writing this book, this is your first book you've published?
Yes. Yep.
Do you think you'll write another one?
I've already started.
All right.
Yep, I've already started. So, and it's kind of weird to be promoting this and working on something else. I guess that's that whole anatomy and physiology thing, using all these different sides of my brain that I didn't realize.
Right, at the same time, trying to keep it separate.
Exactly. A little hyperventilating in between.
Yeah, to get confused between the characters in each novel.
The funny thing is, you live and breathe with these characters for so long that let me apologize to every family member every time I say this, but they became more real to me than my family. And I would start to think about different family members as, one of my characters, and I think they thought, no, Mom, we're the real people. Those are your fake people.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
But everyone's been so supportive. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for stopping by and telling us all about your book. We'll keep an eye out for your events, and of course, let everyone know on the show when you'll be having them. We really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much.
And we hope to have you back next book.
Oh, great. Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Thanks.
And my guest today was Kathy Aspden. She is the author of Baklava, Biscotti, and an Irishman. For Barnstable This Morning, I'm Sarah Mantle.